Welcome back. It's time to answer another speaking legal question with Will Worsham. And first of all, welcome back. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you, Tom.
Now we have another question for you. Here it is. I was just notified of criminal charges filed against me. I've never been through this before. What is the process like? What does this person have to expect in the coming days and weeks? And
yeah. Well, this is kind of my wheelhouse. This is what I do. Yeah,
I know.
Came from the prosecutor's office and all that stuff. So criminal charges, well, that's kind of broad. It could mean a couple different things. One, they could be charged with a misdemeanor.
Right.
That's a lesser offense than what a felony would be. That's the more serious.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm going to say that if they've been notified, I guess there's a couple of ways that could have happened. If it's a misdemeanor or a relatively low classification of felony, minor felony, if there is such a thing, non-violent type of thing, then it's not uncommon for our local prosecutors here to send out what's called a summons.
Okay.
They'll just send out a summons from the court issues it and says, you have a court date, you need to show up on this court day. Now, if you fail to appear, at that point, a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
That becomes a little more serious all of a sudden.
Well, it's kind of what we might call a forceful invitation, and you can get a free ride and room and board the night before.
Nice.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Clothes, things like that.
They'll come and get you. They'll
hope you look good in orange.
Put you up overnight and let you see the judge the next morning. We want to avoid that, obviously.
Yes.
Now, sometimes people are confused because actually summons is not required. On any filing of any criminal charge, misdemeanor or felony, it is within the rights of the prosecutor to request the court issue a warrant right off the bat.
Okay.
So they can file a charge, issue a warrant, come and get you maybe before you even find out. So there's a couple of ways somebody could have gotten notified of this. One, they could have gotten a summons, or two, it's not uncommon now for some law firms and some bail bonds companies to scrape what's called CaseNet.
Right. Yeah. You go on there to see what's coming up, what's on before the bench.
Well, they'll come in and they'll run and they'll get the charges and the addresses of people that have just been charged with the crime, and then they'll send letters looking for business. So that may be how this person got notified. But to the question, I guess, the first thing that happens in either case is called an arraignment. That's where you're notified of the charge against you and you plead guilty or not guilty.
Right.
If it's a misdemeanor, you may get some opportunities to come back to court, talk to the prosecutor, have your lawyer talk to your prosecutor, negotiate a plea agreement. If you can negotiate a plea agreement, great. If not, then eventually that case is going to go to trial. Right. And that's a misdemeanor. Now, a felony, when it first starts, is usually, especially in this area, going to go first to a preliminary hearing. That's where what used to be called a magistrate judge, now we usually call them associate circuit judges, have to have a preliminary hearing, have to find probable cause to believe a felony was committed, and that person committed it. Then it goes on to circuit court, and then all the other things proceed: pretrial conferences, discovery, plea negotiations, and possibly trial.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now you've done this. You've been on that side. You've been on the other. Helping people out. All of that right there. At first, if I got one, I think your best idea is to call a lawyer right away.
You keep coming back to that every week.
I mean, it just because first of all, you're saying, well, there's this, and I lost you at about 2. And you're going to get a letter, and
I was rapid fire, and I was going pretty fast.
True.
But it's like anything else. If you're going into unknown woods, it's always good to have a guide.
Yeah.
So there's steps that go through it. But if you have an attorney, especially one that's been down the road before, they can walk you through. They can tell you exactly what to expect in this situation. They may not be able to see the ultimate end, but they can sure tell you what's coming next. It's
not exactly small claims court, is it?
No, it's really not.
It's really not. Okay, so if you have a legal question for Will, just send him an email at wworsham@color10.com, and he'll answer it right here on the air. Will, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Find a lawyer. All right, coming up after